So we now know where Orange County stands. They are in the playoffs. They are going to Memphis for the first round of the playoffs this Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, I believe is the time. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks. We're going to talk about the match this past weekend. We're going to talk about playoffs. Hey, this is exciting time for everyone. Let's get right into this. Welcome to the Show of Champions. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. How's it going, Orange County? Welcome to another episode of the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, the first and only show dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. I'm your host, Ray Zamora. I'm here to take you through this journey as we discuss Orange County Soccer Club playoff soccer. And helping me out for this episode, let's find out who's here. Who's here with me? Oh, we've got Dylan. Dylan, how are we? How are we feeling? Knowing that we are in the playoffs now.
Well, we have known for a little bit longer than a week, but it felt really good to go in with one last win. So I am riding that high.
Yes, we did know, but I think at this point now it feels super official because we know our opponent, we know where we're going, and helping us out in this discussion as well. We've got Brad and a buddy. Brad, how are we doing?
We're doing quite well. Honestly, the team has been absolutely stellar down the stretch, and Danny Stone makes me eat my words about not liking where the team was when he took over the last 8 games.
Now, I can be right there with you, Brad, on I gave Danny Stone a hard time after that first match with the rotations. But, I'm feeling amazing with Coach Danny Stone. And I'm sure the bearded one himself is also feeling amazing with where this team is playing under Danny Stone. That's Larry, the bearded one himself. Larry, how are we doing?
My God, I could not be any better right now unless I was younger and taller. Outside of that, hey, everything is right with the world. Our team is on fire. We are going into the playoffs on a hot streak. You guys were all wrong about Danny Stone, and I love nothing more than when Ray is wrong. It brings me great joy in spite of the deep love I have for him. But what a way to finish the season.
Ray's definitely frozen, so I'm just going to jump in here, and we're going to get right to it because we've got plenty to talk about with this match. Larry, you were there on Saturday night, I believe. I mean, I have to assume you were.
I was.
Just your thoughts on overall this performance against Hartford.
The first half, I thought the team looked very lethargic. My thinking was Hartford had been eliminated. They already knew they had nothing to play for. My thinking was that they were just going to be phoning it in. And it almost felt to me like the first 35 minutes, Orange County was phoning it in. But that last 10 minutes of the first half, they took it up a notch. And then, of course, we all saw what happened in the second half. Hey, look, there I am. I love seeing myself on TV. Second half, couple of beautiful goals from Doghman where I was right there on the behind the goal and got great video of both and him coming over to celebrate with everybody. It was just beautiful moments. Thomas Among scoring, getting back on the score sheet. Everything about this game was, take away the first 35 minutes and everything about this game was absolutely fantastic. Solid on the ball, great defending, good goalkeeping from Colin Shuttler in spite of the 2 goals that were given up. All around, it was a fun night. It was exciting. And, the finish, hey, team did what it needed to do. It refused to lose this game. And now we're going into the playoffs as probably the hottest team in the USL Championship.
Brad, give us your thoughts on Ryan Doghman managing a brace in this match.
Yeah, talk about playing with confidence that game. Dogman showed up. The second half, I mean, I got to give it the first 35 minutes of this match aside. Just like Larry said, there was really much ado about nothing in terms of shots on goal and really the first half in its entirety. But Dogman in the second half comes in and puts the team up 1 goal. Immediately it's tied 1-1, and then somehow finds an even better second goal, in my opinion, which is almost just as quickly tied upon by Hartford before, Among a minute later scores what would be the game winner. And I mean, what else can we say about this game? It delivered everything that Orange County needed to do in the crazy, crazy, crazy final day of the West, where anybody beat anybody and a lot of people who needed to win lost.
Vegas certainly comes to mind as a team, maybe that didn't need to win, but as a team that very surprisingly lost. I want to give a lot of credit, and I've been beating this drum all season long, to Bryce Jamison for his defensive work. We saw him sitting back and tucking in when Owen Lamb would overlap, and we saw him doing just about everything he could to get back if Hartford got in behind. Ray, while we have you, give us your thoughts. Last week, you wouldn't stop talking about how Hartford was going to injure all of our players. We weren't going to make it before they even went out for the warm-ups. But, nonetheless, Ethan Zubak exited. So do you want to recant your statements last week? Where are you at that?
I don't know if I can recant my statements, because what happened, we had a couple injuries. And I think my other statement last week is the one place I didn't want to go to was Memphis, and that's where we're going. So I want to just apologize for doing this to you all Orange County fans, because I feel somewhat to blame for injuries and a trip to Memphis based on my worries last week. Although, I mean, Larry, I ran right to you after Ethan Zubak went down, and I shared with you, man, this is what I was worried about. I know it wasn't because Hartford was playing extra rough. So I know that was, I guess, the wrong part of my statement, but still, it was the two things I didn't want to happen happened at this match or after this match, which is injuries and a road trip to Memphis. But let me just say this. I was proud to see the performance from the boys on the pitch. I was there at this match. I brought some of my soccer players and their families out to the match, and they actually enjoyed everything out there. The boys were trying to chant and have fun out there and party with Orange County fans. I guess the one negative is conceding 2 goals against a Hartford team that had nothing to play for other than for a new contract or fighting for a team for next season. I wish we could have kept the shutout streak going, or at least the very limited amount of goals going by only conceding 1. Gave up 2, but we got the win, which shows this team is ready for this type of back and forth battle in the playoffs, which will definitely be awesome to see this coming Saturday.
Yeah, heads didn't drop. And as we watch Ryan Doghman, I want to, from all three of you really quickly, which was the best goal of the weekend? Was it Doghman 1, Doghman 2, or Thomas Among? And why was it Doghman 2? Brad.
I'm actually going to disagree with that, only because I'm going to go off of the quote-unquote emotional factor. Yes, Dogman's second goal from out in Narnia was amazing, but Among's goal was a massive statement piece that the team is going to score. Normally when we concede an 80-plus minute goal, how many times when we concede a goal like that do we turn around and just kind of like either give up another goal or just kind of say, well, we turned a win into a draw? It feels like a loss. Well, this game they didn't. They kept fighting and immediately scored that third goal to help us win the game and really put a statement piece moving into playoffs.
We got to see Benjamin Borzolo actually make an appearance. And this did oddly still have that, hey, it's the last game of the season kind of feeling, where you reward some players who've been working hard, but maybe haven't had the opportunity to play because the people in front of them have been playing pretty well. Larry, you've certainly been in and around, and you've certainly talked to all these players. What did you see in the, I think, 25 minutes that he was on the pitch, and what do we have to look forward to?
Yeah, he's so much like Bryce in so many ways. I mean, same build, just about the same age, explosive quickness. And man, he had a shot. It wasn't on goal. It was just off. And boy, was it a banger. really good video of it. I mean, I had so many good videos. Probably my best night of videoing there behind the goal this entire season. It was a great shot. I believe it was off his left foot, and it just went wide. He's boy, I can't wait to see more of him. Honestly, he's exciting. He's fast. I don't know that he quite has that killer instinct just yet, but 16, 17, I think he's a youngster still, and it'll be really fun to see how he develops and moves forward between the end of this year and the beginning of next year. And let me just say about going to Memphis, if you could trust Sacramento to do anything right, we would not be going to Memphis. So we can blame Ray and we can blame Sacramento.
As Brad says, if I had the wings of an eagle, and I won't finish the rest of that, but you can certainly figure it out. Ray, what do we have to look forward to? And if we look back, let me ask you this first. If we look back to 2.5 months ago, Danny Stone's just joined the club. We haven't won in a month and a half, I think. Are we a playoff team? Do we concede a goal and fight back and score not once but twice in a match?
I think if we go back, I think if we go back to where we were a couple months ago, I think we all still have that taste of the 6-0 road loss in Charleston. So I don't think anyone in their right mind would have said at that point we're a playoff team and that there was any confidence in what this team could do heading into the stretch. I think even on our show, we were sort of to the point where we're thinking ahead to what does this team need to do to rebuild for next season. It was sort of that down the season's over type mentality. Coach Danny Stone comes in, a great first impression for a lot of people. Again, I was one of the skeptics even after that first match, but he definitely turned things around rather quickly. And again, this is just from my conversations with players like Marcus Knockham a couple weeks ago regarding just the confidence that Coach Danny Stone has brought to this team and the buy-in from the players to buy into what Coach Danny Stone is asking them to do. And we've seen that with this team. So 2 months ago, to answer your question, Dylan, I don't see us finishing the season like this. I don't see us in the playoffs. I don't have the confidence that we can come back from 2 equalizing goals or going down or whatever it was, right? I feel like this is a completely different team than it was 2.5 months ago. And luckily for Orange County and for the fans, we are in a position where we are playing our best soccer of the season. Our defense has figured things out. And yes, some injury concerns, but thanks to a lot of these players having to play throughout the season, we've got some players that maybe you didn't expect to count on. Now you get to count on them and you have faith in them because they've shown their experience throughout the season. So yeah, we're not seeing this 2.5 months ago. And I would love to hear one of you say otherwise. I think you all would agree with me that this team was dead in the water 2.5 months ago. We didn't anticipate this happening.
I think the stats were just pulled up somewhere, and I now can't find it right in front of my face. But we at one point said, hey, every match is a playoff match from this point. And then we picked up, I believe, 18 from 24. Thank you, Larry. It was actually you who had that. And I want to give a massive credit and massive shout out to the USL production team. Rare times. Look, they finally did it. They figured out we're Orange County. There was no first last name sub that I noticed, but mostly the pregame intro to this one really encapsulated the season as a whole in 90 seconds, and just how strong we've been as well.
I see we have producer Andy wants to jump in with something.
Yeah, I just want to point out, I'm pretty sure on ESPN they listed us as Orange City again.
Well, I take it back. Only credit to Mike Watts then, and the probable college intern who hopefully got a nice grade for making a nice little intro video for this one. Ray, all you, man.
But so Dylan, you don't like when you see a substitution for first name, last name coming onto the pitch?
I believe it's first last name, and I've been harping on him about this for 5 years now. So, it's,
All
I think
right.
it's part of the league.
Let me do this before we move ahead a little bit here. I want to ask you all this question. What's a player in your mind that has been a key contributor to the last 2.5 months of this team and the run they've been on? I know we talked about Danny Stone and the team buying into Danny Stone's system and confidence with that. But what player have you been most impressed with what we've seen from in this stretch? I'll go to you first, Larry.
Ethan Zubak. He's been on a goal scoring tear. What we hoped for him for so long during this season. And then in that first game with Danny Stone, he goes up and he bangs 2 in the first half. And then that game got away from us. But he's been scoring these last 2 months on a pretty consistent basis. And we so desperately needed that with, the loss of Brian Olofsky and with Tomas going out with injury as well. But I think that definitely Ethan with his scoring ability. Chris Hagart, from the day he got here, has been an absolute difference maker. Yes, Raymond. Now you're on mute, so I can't hear a word you're saying.
Sorry. One player.
The question I was asking was one player, and you're going to go name the whole roster now, it sounds like.
Oh, one player? Well, since when do I listen to you?
Brad,
Right.
I think you had some beef with that too, so go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to stick to one player as well because Larry didn't. But I got one number for you, and I hope you can guess what the number means. 3.
I believe that would be Mr. Dylan Powers.
No, that would be the amount of goals that we allowed in the last 8 games of the season. And who is in charge of keeping those balls out of the net? That would be Mr. Colin Shuttler, shutout Shuttler himself, with I think 5 or 6 shutouts in the last 8 games. Defense wins championships. We saw a similar trend when Patrick Rakowski was in the net in 2021. So hopefully that bodes well for our postseason chances. But Colin Shuttler came up with some amazing saves to keep games that otherwise we would have dropped points in hand for us.
Dylan, what about you? What's the player that you've been most impressed with? And I don't want you to agree with either Larry or Brad, so you have to come up with something unique.
I actually had a different one. My gut and my instincts said Dylan Powers, because ultimately to come back from, hey, we might not see him at all this year, to benching, that sounds harsh, but essentially taking Ashton Miles' spot, who was in nothing near bad form. I think maybe Seth Kasipli deserves a nod. So if you wanna say Seth Kasipli, that'd be good too.
Now look at Dylan going and picking out 2 names. Remember, Dylan, one.
I was just suggesting maybe that somebody say Seth Kasipli.
So that's what you're trying to get me to say. Is you're getting me to say Seth Kasipli.
Yeah, because
Ray, who is your one player, and why is it Seth Kasipli?
Yeah, there we go.
Seth Kasipli, because Dylan's telling me to say Seth Kasipli at this point, and I would feel horrible if I didn't go with that, because then we're leaving Seth Kasipli out in the dust after Dylan already brought that up. Seth has been a great part. It's awesome to see Seth staying healthy with this team, especially down the stretch. I know in years past he's had to deal with some injury issues. We all know when he's on the pitch, he's a valuable contributor to Orange County Soccer Club, whether it's under Coach Richard Chaplow or under Coach Morton Carlson or under Coach Danny Stone. He does the things that you need to win. He doesn't do anything that stands out to the average fan that's just watching and looking for great goal scoring, great flashiness. He does the things that you need from a championship caliber player. He does all what you would call the dirty work in the midfield. And with players like Kyle Scott and Kevin Partita missing time due to injuries, Seth has been able to step up and really play a key contributing role to this team. I like what I've seen out of Seth. It's been amazing, and I'm glad to see that, heading into the playoffs, he's playing well and he's healthy. And that's something that Orange County is really going to be needing in the playoffs. Heading into the playoffs, trip to Memphis. I told y'all last week This is the one trip I did not want to see, and Orange County is going to Memphis. How excited are we about this? I'll go to you, Dylan.
I love Memphis, but I will preface that by saying I love places that aren't very nice. So, look, we've done well against them in the past. I hope that continues here. I am not jazzed about this game being at 11 o'clock our time, 1 p.m. local. I'm not jazzed about being on a baseball field for a multitude of reasons. But hey, let's advance, and that maybe in theory gives us a couple more hours of rest before next week. Ultimately, I think this is a good opportunity, and we have proven that we can beat anybody in this league on our night.
So last time Orange County played in Memphis, I was actually in Nashville sporting my Orange County jersey. I believe I was at Topgolf watching the Orange County match. So if anyone wants to, believes in superstition and wants to buy a ticket for me and my family to go out to Nashville so we can go to Topgolf and watch the match there, we could do so. But actually, I can't because I'm coaching my son's team. Their match starts at 1 o'clock. So I'm hoping the match ends in regulation. It better not go into extra time. It better not go into PKs, because then I'll have to pick and choose. Do I watch OC or do I take care of my coaching duties? But yeah, that's one thing on there. What's up, Dylan?
That's great and all, and we love hearing about your kids' soccer team. But I think perhaps the listeners might be more excited to listen to our guest tonight, and that is none other than the brace scorer himself, Mr. Ryan Doghman. Ryan, welcome to the Orange and Black Soccer Cast.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Good to be here.
Ryan, since I've stolen Ray's job typically, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, those are the first 2 goals that you've scored for Orange County. Oh, no, everyone else is shaking their head, so I'm wrong.
You should give the job back, Dylan, if you can't get that right.
It is
But
very
Ryan,
true. I could have done my
let
homework.
me ask you this, Ryan, with the brace in this match. How good does it feel with that for you personally, heading into the playoffs now? And how's the team feeling? How's the locker room doing right now, heading into a tough road match in Memphis, but riding a great record over the last 2.5 months?
No, definitely fun. Both me and the team are super confident now. We're going into the playoff in this away game against Memphis now with, as I said, a lot of confidence. We're super excited. We honestly can't wait. It's going to be a tough game for sure, but we're definitely well prepared and very excited.
What did you guys get out of this match against Hartford? Obviously, Hartford, I think, was coming into this match. If they didn't know, they should have already known they were eliminated. Obviously, you all were still fighting for positioning, and you didn't know who you would face in the playoffs like this. But it feels like Hartford still came into this match playing at their, at a top high level. Didn't seem like they let the foot off the gas there. How did that help you in the run up now to the playoffs? Is it more beneficial to play against a team that's playing full strength, or would it have felt better to go against a team maybe that's taking it easy for you guys heading into the playoffs?
No, definitely always good to have good matching. So and you're right, they definitely didn't take their foot off the gas. They played a good game. They were hyped. They had good energy, and that was a good preparation for us, I guess, leading up to this important game now on Saturday. But yeah, it was a fun game. It was a good game as well.
Hey, Ryan, outside of the big coaching change, which since the coaching change happened, there was the one loss against Las Vegas, and there has not been a loss since. What changed for this team in the last 8 matches? Did you guys meet and have a talk with each other and say, hey, you know what, we're better than what our record shows. Let's go out and show everybody. What happened the last 2 months? It's been amazing. It's been beautiful to watch.
Well, Danny has come in and he has had some very clear ideas, and like personally for me as well, we always believe that this group is capable of a lot more than what we showed at the start and the middle of the season. So it was a lot of factors that came in, but as we say, the core of this group is like a rubber band. Like you can stretch it, but we always come back together, and you can really see that. And you've been seeing that for the last 2 months, definitely.
Now, after the game's over. What is the locker room like when you guys get in there after Saturday night's game?
We didn't have we had the signing right after the game, so we didn't spend that much time in the locker room. It was kind of a get in, like give ourselves a little pat on the back, kind of thing. Like we've done well now over the last couple of weeks, but it wasn't that celebration kind of vibe. It was more like, all right, like first steps down now. Let's look forward. Like more like the job's not finished, but definitely a confident, happy group. And as always, like you have to appreciate every game you play and every win you get. That's important and very.
Okay. I got one more for you, Ryan. Gotcha.
Yes.
One more question for you. What would your preference be? Norway in the winter or Orange County in the spring and summer?
One more time, sorry.
I said, which would be your preference? Norway in the winter or Orange County in the spring and summer?
In the spring. Oh, that's a tough one. Well, we're counting like Norway in like this, like Christmas time. I love Christmas. So Christmas is a big holiday for me. But OC in spring and summer is also big. I think I have to go with Christmas back home in Norway.
Christmas back home. Are your parents watching right now? Is that why you're saying that, Ryan?
They might be. I think they're sleeping, but they probably will when they wake up.
All right. Hey, that's it for me tonight. Just a fantastic game on Saturday. It has been so much fun watching you come back and just be absolutely on form. Keep it going, brother. 4 more games. Let's go.
Thank you so much. Will do.
Ryan, I'm going to try not to put my foot in my mouth anymore tonight, but no promises.
Yeah.
Can you walk me through your second goal on Saturday night?
Definitely. I remember, I think it's Sheesh who goes up like in to pick up the second ball, the rebound from a cross we put in. It kind of bounces a bit weird. I kind of just let it bounce. Decide to take a touch, and then kind of decide to the way the ball just bounces. Decided to take it on the half volley. And kind of like felt it as the second. I felt it the second I hit the ball. It was kind of like a buttery feeling when you slice it pretty perfectly. So that was nice, and then you just saw it go in the back of the net, and then always so happy and excited to run over to you guys and get to celebrate with you. I'm so happy it was at that end of the field with you guys right behind.
I was amazed that you took that shot on, and obviously the result was great. Hopefully your teammates were a little less surprised than me. It felt like one of the high moments as we got one back really quickly. For you personally, what has been the high moment for the club this season?
That's a good question. Well, I do think we have to. It's almost like putting this last, like you guys were talking about, the last 6, 7, 8 games as like a mini season, like we talked about as a group, especially these last 8 games. So maybe I would say that I won't point at like one of the games, but just like the last 2 months, basically.
Awesome. Well, welcome back to the show, Ryan. I'm gonna look forward to next weekend's game. Earlier this season, when we played Memphis in our home and away, we won 2-0 on the road back in I think April and 4-1 at home back on July 6th. So 6 points out of a possible 6 against Memphis. What have you guys seen so far with them and the games that you played where we have been so successful, and do you think we can continue it this upcoming weekend?
Yes, I absolutely think we can continue it, and that's almost like the baseline of what when we do what we do. We have to believe. We haven't started talking too much about them. We obviously played them 2 times already this year, so we know a bit about them. But I think like the way we approach most of it, we focus mostly about ourselves. It's about recovering well from the weekend and now going into this week, training well, preparing well, and just getting ready, like both physically and mentally, to play the game. But 100%, we're traveling down to Memphis to win. There's no doubt in my mind that we're capable of doing that.
Awesome. Since Coach Danny took over, you've seemed to be playing a little bit higher up the pitch than your typical left back position. Has that been a move that you've been pushing for, Danny has been pushing for, or is it just kind of you got put into it due to all the injuries we've had?
I think it was a mix of all the three. Just like the dynamic of the team we were playing ourselves and obviously against. So definitely a mix. And for me, the only thing that's important is winning, and I don't care too much about where I play or my team is play, as long as we put the best team out on the pitch, the best prepared team to win the game.
I know you just said you don't care, but if you could choose to go back to your left back position or stay where you've been playing, which one would you choose?
Well, I've been playing left back lately, but it is like a bit of a more free role when we're attacking, which I've been enjoying a lot. So it seemed to work well last game, so I think we'll keep going on that.
All right, awesome. I'll finish out with a fan question that we had submitted prior to the show. So, in Europe, players typically are recognized for being, athletes or professionals just due to the level of the sport. However, in Southern California, I imagine since soccer isn't as big, you guys aren't recognized anywhere. Do you kind of prefer that freedom and anonymity outside of the stadium?
Yes, I do enjoy that. That is nice.
Have you been recognized outside of the stadium at all yet?
Yeah, sometimes, but not as often as back home. So that's been honestly a kind of a nice change.
Awesome. We had a couple of other fan questions coming through, so we'll just go through these. I'll ask one of them, and then maybe someone else can ask another one. Looks like what your favorite restaurant is? Do you have a favorite restaurant in Orange County?
Oh yeah, I do. Well, there's a Peruvian place right by the apartments there called Inca Mama, which is the food there is so amazing. Like the last couple of weeks now, me, Owen, and Seth, basically, and Charlie Asensio joined last week. Marcus has been with us as well. Chris has been there as well. Like food is amazing. So I have to put that down as my number one at the moment. We've also been going a lot to Tomikawa, the sushi restaurant in Irvine, both this year and last year. And I also have to give a small shout out to Abba in Laguna. They also have it's a cool vibe there, and they also have really good food.
And I want to let some of my co-hosts here ask any of the other fan questions if they want to ask.
I'll ask one of them. Of the jerseys that we've had this season, we've got the orange kit, we've got the county road kit, we've got the owner's kit, which we like to refer to as the creamsicle. And then there was the cup kit. What was your favorite one? What's been your favorite one to wear this season, Ryan?
Owner's kit, without any doubt. By
Owner's
far,
kit?
my favorite. Yeah, owner's kit.
Well, you just scored a brace wearing that kit, so you know.
I honestly love the owner's kit. The colors and design of them is really really cool. And after that, I'll probably go with the black with the county roads kit.
Nice.
Ryan, first off, who are your roommates this season?
Used to be Marcus and Owen. At the moment, is Owen and Chris.
Okay.
And
So
Seth basically lives here as well, with the time he spends there.
Which leads me to my next question. Who is the funniest teammate that you have?
Funniest teammate. Oh, this is a good one. Well, I think I have to go with Ethan Zubak. he makes me laugh a lot. And also Dylan Powers, a little underdog from the side. He has some great comments. So I'll stick with those two.
And I don't remember if we asked this last time we were here, but the real reason I really wanted to know who your roommates are, in the locker room, who's playing the worst music week in, week out?
Oh, yeah, I remember I got asked this last year too. I'm gonna go with the best and the worst music is set. He's not afraid to take risks, which I really enjoy. So he might miss some days or sometimes with the music and songs he decides to play, but sometimes he really hits. So he'll get both of those titles from me.
Well, here's what I want to share with you, Ryan, and you can, because we've been, Dylan and us, we've been asking all of y'all who has the best and worst taste in music. We've actually curated some of our own playlists that we'll be sharing with the world, and y'all can go listen to what we listen to and find out who is the best and worst of the podcast if you want to. And I can tell you there's a lot of variety on some of these playlists, which is really cool to see. But yeah, I don't think Dylan has submitted his yet, though. So Dylan, you're lagging a little bit on that. Let me ask you this, because I brought my U13 team out to the game this past weekend, and when you scored goals, they saw your name up on the board. They saw you. We were sitting near where you played some of the match, and they saw your name, and they immediately go to this book that they all read, Doghman, Adventures of Doghman, or something like that. Are you familiar with this book? Have you looked at it all, or has anyone told you about it?
Yeah, our president Dan told me about it, that it was a really famous children's book in England. And I remember when I was traveling back home last Christmas, I had a layover in London, and when I was walking around, I actually saw it, so that was kind of funny. So I picked up one of the books and actually skimmed past it quickly.
Sorry, just trying to find my unmute button there really quick. I apologize for the delay.
No,
We've been doing this with some of the guests towards the end of the season. Some quick respond answers, this or that questions. Because Halloween's only a few days away, we're going to do it Halloween costume themed for you, Ryan. So I'm going to give you two choices, and you tell me which costume you would pick if you had to pick one of the costumes between the two. The first, witch or vampire?
Witch.
Ghost or goblin?
Ghost.
Superhero or villain?
Ooh, superhero.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Pirate or mermaid?
Pirate.
Dinosaur or alien?
Dinosaur.
Yeah, I'd love you. You should get one of those fun-looking T-Rex costumes and run around. We'll see what that looks like. Clown or jester?
Jester.
And then fairy or angel?
Angel.
Awesome. There we go. There's 10 this or that Halloween costume theme from Ryan. Thank you for sharing with that on there. I want to pass it to my co-host. Does anyone else have any last questions for Ryan before we let him go get rested up for training this week?
I can add that we're doing a Halloween dress up this week with all the players. So we'll see if we get some content out to you guys. We can see who we're going to have. Definitely going to have some votes inside the locker room on who shows up with the worst costume.
Now, are you going for the worst or the best costume, like when you dress up?
I'm going for the best. I had high expectations for some of the players here. We'll see what we come up with, but I can tell you we're putting some effort into it. Let's try.
Ryan, are you willing to share what you're going to go as?
Got to keep it secret, Ryan. Don't let the players know what you're going to be yet.
I think I'll keep it for myself until now. Gotta keep the surprise.
Fair enough.
If I can make a suggestion, Ryan, now you could just go in your current OCSC kit, and you could be Ryan Doghman 2-year Orange County Soccer Club player, or you could just get another shirt that's orange and has a 3 on it, and make it Ryan Doghman 3-year Orange County Soccer Club player, and we'll see you in next spring and next summer. What do you think about that idea? Yeah, we good?
Here, creative outside the box thing here, right? He could just be Dogman from the books and wearing his Dogman uniform. There we go, right? Ryan, I know it's a tough trip for the players and obviously the fans. It's something that their fans are looking at, but it's not the easiest trip out to Memphis. But do you have any message for those fans that are looking ahead to potentially make the trip out there? Why should they come out to Memphis to come support you all in the opening round of the playoffs?
Well, for us, for the players at least, it means a lot every time we see you guys and hear you guys. And for the people traveling out there, well, you'll definitely see a team giving their all. Hopefully, play some exciting football. Hopefully, get a win as well. But it's definitely going to be an energetic group stepping onto that field.
Awesome. Well, folks, you guys as well. Awesome. Yeah, that's what we were hoping, that there's a celebration afterwards. Folks, 2-goal scorer this weekend, Ryan Doghman, your player, defender, winger, whatever we want to call him for your Orange County Soccer Club. Ryan, we want to let you go so you can get some good rest for a big week of training leading up to Saturday. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Ryan.
Awesome. Awesome to have Ryan on here, especially after a great performance from him this weekend and the team doing so well heading into the playoffs. So we're excited for that. Let's just talk a little bit more about this playoff match, Memphis. What are you anticipating from this, Dylan?
I think it's going to be a little bit cagey, and I don't think that's because we need to be, but I think that's just the nature of playoff footy. I think teams come in and they go, "Oh, one mistake and that might be it." That being said, we did see Hartford score on us by playing a ball over the top, and I think ultimately that's going to be a little bit more difficult on a baseball field because it's just too short to really get away with doing that before the keeper can come out and get involved. So I expect a hard-fought match, but again, I think we can beat anybody on our day, and I think we've proven that just about every single day, because it's going to be 1 p.m. local, that we can beat.
I would figure, if I'm going to go to you, Brad, you brought up the fact that Orange County have 6 points on Memphis in the 2 matches this season. So obviously there's some advantage there, although I believe both those matches were with different coaches, or am I incorrect there? I can't remember. But what are you thinking? Do you see another victory for Orange County, or is there any nerves about this match from you?
I mean, in the current form the team's in, I see no reason why we shouldn't expect another win. I was about to say 3 points, but we're in playoffs and points don't exist out here for some reason. And I also think it was a good thing that we allowed 2 goals this past weekend, because it really lets us kind of remind ourselves that we have to fight to win games. You saw this team fought back, scored the 3rd goal that we needed, and won the game. B, it gives us something to study about ourselves. We can't just go in thinking that we're immortal, because if we do that, they're going to take advantage of the first opportunity that they get, and we're going to be catching up and playing desperate, which I don't think we need to be doing. This team's definitely very good. They fight with a lot of heart. But most importantly, to win this game, I think we have to score first and let our defense do the rest. And then that's more than just the typical Madden assumption of, score a goal, don't let the other team score. But when we've scored first in this string of games, we haven't lost.
There we go. That's the quality analysis that people come to this show for. We score first, we don't lose. Mr. Larry, your thoughts on this match? Are you pretty confident? Do you have any nerves going on? What are your thoughts?
Well, it's playoffs, so there's always going to be nerves. You can't make that one mistake, but I will say this: 8 weeks, 8 teams, no losses. This team has not lost a game since, August 31st, whatever day that was, against Las Vegas. 8 different teams we have gone head-to-head with. and we have not lost to any of them. We have only given up 3-4 goals in those 8 games. I see this game as a 1-0 game. I think that we're going to come out of Memphis with a victory. And I think that Oakland's going to do us a big favor and give us a home game the following week. Always going to be nervous in the playoffs. You know, you always going to be nervous when you have to play a game at a really weird time of day. But Danny Stone has had this team ready for 8 straight weeks. Actually, I would even go so far as to say 9 straight weeks. And that Las Vegas second half was just an anomaly. Just happened. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. Wherever we are all together watching this game, we are going to be raucous and loud. And hey, get ready, folks. Orange County's coming. USL Championship, get ready. Orange County's coming, because don't forget, I got this one from 2021, and I need a new one for 2024.
All right, so Larry opened up the predictions. So let's just jump into this. I'll hand it off to you, Brad, to talk about predictions.
Yeah, so we finished the regular season, and no, I'm not running a postseason prediction. That's just, there's so many other people who host postseason pick'ems that do it better than I would. Go follow them at USL Show. Go follow them at the league. However, for our predictions, Michael 10 points ahead of the perennial winner, Taylor, who was winning all year up until these last couple weeks. Michael comes in and swoops and steals first place. Kayvon takes second, and I somehow crawl my way to tie Taylor for that third position with a very nice 69 points. And, you know, a couple extra stats. Over the season, 67% of the time Orange County fans predicted a win, 15% of the time was a draw, and 17.2% of the time Orange County was predicted to lose by our fans truly. So, you know, thanks for having just, you know, a wonderful season. There was over 700 predictions over the course of the year, which, if I stand correct, is almost double what it was last year at like 350, 400. So, you know, I really appreciate the predictions and you guys joining us. And hopefully we can find a prize for Michael for winning the competition.
Yeah, let me just say this too. I mean, fans actually are enjoying this, Brad. I believe I bumped into Michael at the stadium this weekend. If it is Michael, there was a gentleman that said, I believe I won I'm winning the pick'em, the prediction game. So congratulations, Michael and Brad. Thanks for setting this all up and running this for the season. I know it's a task that takes a little bit of time, and we appreciate what you do on that. Dylan, I think you have something.
I do. I just want to say thanks to everybody for participating. The show is, you know, it's fun to come on every week and say Samora out for 50 minutes to an hour every week. But what really makes this exciting is getting the listeners involved. And this is obviously a really fun way to do that. I will say, along that same vein, we have a listener survey. So, you know, as we reach the end of this year, please get involved. You can find it on our social media. You can reach out to one of us if you can't find it. You can find it, you know, at OCSC_soccercast, and fill it out and let us know what you want to see. Maybe it's less score predictions and more out. Regardless,
or less Dylan.
We'd love to hear. It could be less me, and I respect that. You know, this is fun, and we do this because of all of you listening.
Awesome. We need to get our predictions in though. Larry already gave us his prediction of 1-0 Orange County. Dylan, what's yours?
I'm going to go 2-0 Orange County.
Brad.
I'm going to share the same sentiment Dylan had, 2-0 OC.
My prediction for this match, 3-1 Orange County. 3-1 Orange County for this match. That's what I'm going with. Folks, let us know your thoughts either on the comments or on social media. Tag us on the social media posts. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that stuff. So if you're on social media, make sure you follow us on whatever platform you utilize. Interact with us on there. We definitely will interact back with you. Also, as far as podcast form or live stream form, subscribe to us there, whether it's on Apple Podcasts or if it's on YouTube or Spotify, wherever you want to listen to us or watch us. Make sure you subscribe so you can be notified when there's new episodes of our show that will be live or in podcast form. Let's go to wrap things up here. I'm going to bring back I think it's Brad's favorite. I know Larry likes it sometimes. We're going to do some random things or random thoughts before we go into what we learned. I do have a random thought, but I will save mine for last because mine's not as fun as everyone else's probably. So who wants to go first with their random thought? And if you don't have a random thought, you don't have to share one. Just say you don't have one.
I'll go first. I've always got a random thought. I have a lot of random nothingness in my brain a whole bunch of the time. But random thought, very simple. 8 days, vote.
There we go. Brad, do you have a random thought for us?
Yeah, last time I was on the show, I don't believe the hockey season had started, but go hockey season. Hopefully, I'm not truly delved into it because Orange County still needs to win a championship before I can really fully commit to the hockey world.
What about you, Dylan? Do you have a random thought?
Brad.
Oh, sorry.
I do. Memphis is the home of blues. I think that's a fair assessment as a young white person to make. So let's enjoy that, and let's give them one more reason to be sad.
There we go. So now I'm going to go into my random thought, and I've avoided this for quite a few weeks now. And this has nothing to do with Orange County Soccer Club, but there is some affiliation with USL Championship, USL League One teams. And obviously lower level teams like club soccer. The team that I coach for utilizes Capelli as the kit manufacturer, the kit provider. And Capelli has been nothing less than a, SHIT show this season in providing kits to youth soccer players. So just a short story. This is my personal experience with it is we ordered our son's jerseys in early August. And as of today, I've only received half of the order. We're still missing a full home kit, training shirt, shorts, and socks. And I know numerous people personally that have gone through this, and I've spoken with numerous people at the club level, even the club director for the organization that I run under. It's very frustrating. And the more frustrating part is there's no way to really get a hold of customer support from Capelli. So Capelli, you got to fix your stuff out here because people are still waiting for kits and the season's like 1 or 2 weeks away from ending and players are still playing with makeshift soccer jerseys. And I don't know if any other manufacturer has this issue, but Capelli is the one that I've personally experienced. And I know a lot of people are very frustrated with it. And I guess Brad doesn't like that I actually called out the name, but there we go. I like that, Michael. Cancel Capelli.
Are you suggesting that we're not going to be sponsored by Capelli Sports in the future?
I would assume so. And by the way they do not respond to any emails. And I will say this, I did actually email Capelli Sports and told them about what I was potentially going to mention on the show. And if they had an official statement that they would like to share, and they did not respond to that email or that inquiry. And I did actually reach out to all the USL Championship and League One teams that utilize Capelli to let them know that, hey, I know you wear Capelli. I'm going to mention this. And I asked any of them if they wanted to, say anything. And obviously, I think they're staying away from it. But I wanted to give them a heads up and let them know I might be bad-mouthing your kit manufacturer on our episode, just so you know. And so I did my due diligence. I'm not trying to surprise anyone. Capelli's well aware of the frustration, and they knew that I was going to bring this up, and they chose to ignore it and not provide a comment on it.
Thank you for the worst 3 minutes of this podcast's history, Ray. Thank you.
Hey, I'm trying to stick up for other parents that have also spent $300-$400 on a jersey and they haven't received it the whole season, and the season's almost over. That's all I'm trying to do. Dylan.
Could you not have simply just made your team play in the County Roads kit, which is historically the greatest ever kit made? Shout out Hummel.
And make them spend an additional $100-something for the shirt? I could have, but I feel bad for them already spending $400. What did we learn this episode, folks? I'll go to you first, Brad, because you look like you've learned something.
Yeah, no, I actually did make a mental note during the show. It looks like we're expecting some Halloween costumes. So being the Vegas person that I am setting the line at over/under 1.5 AFC Richmond kits worn by players for Halloween this year. Anyone want to take any action on that?
I got nothing. No.
Nothing.
I still don't understand what these betting things mean, and I never will.
Move to
I
Vegas and you
didn't-
might learn, Dylan.
I didn't learn anything this episode, but I was just reminded, thanks to Brad, in this very, very moment, that I'm such a bad gambler that I just don't gamble. I'll just send you all some money and say, okay, there you go.
Hey, I will say what I learned in watching your reactions on my sort of Capelli rant there. Y'all were sort of scared or nervous about me saying that, and you guys probably have some sort of monetary deal with Capelli that I haven't been made aware of, and now you're losing that. Dylan, what's your what did you learn?
I learned the only thing that is in worse form than me on tonight's show is apparently Capelli Sports. So, when you think you're at rock bottom, there's always someone doing worse.
I'm telling you, look, even some of our listeners are experiencing the same thing, and they haven't gotten their kits. So that is the difficult situation that a lot of people are facing. And that's why, again, I've been wanting to say this for the last month, and I held back. And I had to say it. And I actually spoke to the director of coaching for my league tonight at our coaches meeting and told him I was going to do. He's like, yes, do it, please. People need to know about this. So we're putting the word out there. Capelli sucks, and they're not doing their job. With that said, Capelli, if you want to fix your job and you want to come work with us, let us know. Not joking. If any other business, though, would love to share their experience with us and want to work with us, we promise we won't badmouth you. If you're a great business and a good business, we will do that with you. And let's do this. Let's thank everyone. Brad, Larry, Dylan, producer Andy in the background, our guest, Ryan Doghman from Orange County Soccer Club, all the listeners involved in the chat sharing their thoughts with us. Hey, this has been a fun episode. We're in playoff soccer mode now. It's going to be playoff episodes. Let's get to this. This has been the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, and we are out.